Okay, guys, Trump and Starmer's $250 billion tech deal. Is this progress or a corporate takeover? Let's dive in. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on the baseline. Hope you guys are all having a great day. So something is shifting right now. You can feel it, even if you can't name it, even if you can't put your finger on it. It's that quiet tension, right? It's in the air like the moment before a storm breaks. And the thunder, it has rolled because just this last week, President Donald Trump and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer signed what they called the most substantial transatlantic investment package in British history, a £250 billion, that's a $340 billion tech and energy deal. So thank you guys for clicking on this video because we all need to know the truth here, right? Is this really about progress or is it about power? So let's not waste time. Let me say it out loud. Trump and Starmer just handed the future of British technology, nuclear energy, and artificial intelligence to American corporations on a silver platter. And while the press is spinning this as prosperity, your job, your bills, your privacy, they're all on the line. Now, think about what this means for you, your work, your taxes that you pay, you try to make ends meet. And while you're scraping, your money is being used to subsidize the biggest corporations in the world, companies that laugh on stage about taking over the world. And that's not a punchline. That's a blueprint. And here's what the deal actually includes, right? 250 billion pounds flowing across the Atlantic. Microsoft alone pledging 30 billion, Google adding 7 billion, Nvidia, OpenAI, Salesforce, they're all lining up. Up to 15,000 new jobs are promised, high-skilled jobs in AI, quantum computing, fusion, nuclear, and 6G. And on top of that, the construction of 12 nuclear reactors in the north of England. Now, it sounds historic, right? It sounds bold. But here's the twist, right? Nobody outside the inner circle has even seen the text of this deal. No details on how your data will be used, no protections for privacy, no guarantees on regulations, nothing. So you're told it's about prosperity, but you don't get to read the fine print. And here's where it gets darker, right? Because Trump bragged that this deal positions the United States not just as a leader in these technologies, but as the exporter of them, shaping global standards. Now, what's the translation? Washington and Silicon Valley get to decide the rules, and Britain gets to play along. But let's be real, this isn't about saving the UK economy. This is about United States corporations expanding monopolies at the expense of British sovereignty. So, you want proof? Well, Warren Stevens, Trump's ambassador to London, owns hundreds of millions, in shares of the very companies profiting from this deal. Microsoft, Google, Nvidia, and he donated 7 figures to Trump's inaugurations. Now, you got to connect the dots. And while we're connecting them, remember, just months ago, the UK scrapped tariffs on United States steel and aluminum. They opened markets to American agriculture, and they bent the knee. So ask yourself, is this really a partnership, or is it dependency dressed up as diplomacy? And then, in the middle of the celebration, Trump turned to NVIDIA's Jensen Huang and said, hey, you're taking over the world. Jensen, he probably thought, hey, I hope you're right. But now listen, when Trump's saying you're taking over the world, that's not a joke. That's the spoiler alert. I mean, what's next? Elon, I hope your Mars colony has Wi-Fi because I'm moving there after this trial. I don't know. But jokes aside, guys, here's why you should care about this. Because you're not crazy for feeling uneasy, right? You're not a technophobe. You're not anti-progress. because artists like Elton John and Paul McCartney are already warning that AI companies have ingested millions of copyrighted works without permission or payment. Now, global justice, I don't know, but now it's like saying flat out, we don't know what we're giving away. And ordinary people in the streets of London are protesting, demanding green infrastructure, warning that powering all these data centers with fossil fuels will only deepen the crisis. Now, if you're watching this and you feel like the elites are selling out your future, congratulations, because I think you're the few that are paying attention. But here's the part that should really keep all of us up at night, right? Why is no one talking about the fact that this deal may erode UK's digital service tax? You know, the one designed to keep Google, Amazon, and Facebook from avoiding billions in taxes? Why is no one asking whether those 15,000 new jobs will even go to British workers? Or if, just like every other big tech expansion, they'll bring in visas, contractors, and offshore teams to do the work for cheaper? And the other thing no one is asking is what happens when Britain relies on foreign actors like the United States to literally build and operate its nuclear reactors? That's not sovereignty. That's subcontracting your own survival. And remember, Trump himself said this was the next logical step in global tech leadership. That's not about Britain. That's about American dominance. So the question becomes, is Britain the partner or the pawn in this equation? Now, here's the reveal, right? This isn't just about Britain. This deal is not just about Britain. It's about exporting a model. If the US can lock Britain, America's closest ally, into dependency, then Germany is going to be next. Then Canada, then the EU. This isn't innovation. This is empire by algorithm, empire by nuclear contract, empire by data control. And the kicker to it all, the people who profit most are the same ones who sit on both sides of the negotiating table. The billionaires funding campaigns, writing regulations, and cashing dividends. But here's the good news, guys. Now you know, right? You see the game, and that makes you more powerful than 90% of the people just nodding along with the headlines. Because yes, these corporations, they're massive. Yes, governments are compromised, but public awareness still matters. Your opinion matters. Resistance still matters. Questions still matter. And your voice, the conversations you have, the comments you write, the stories you share are the beginning of this accountability. So let me leave you guys with this, right? If America is setting the rules for Britain's future in AI, nuclear, and energy, what happens when those same corporations decide to set the rules for your life, your job, your bills, your data? That's what we'll be breaking into in the next few videos. Let me know if you guys think I have this all right or all wrong. Your comments matter to me. Your opinion matters to me. I reply to all the comments and questions. Thank you guys so much for watching The Baseline, and we'll catch you in the next round. All right. Cheers, everybody.